I'm never buying Bitcoin. Never. Never, never. I don't believe a thing about it.
How the huge move by Elon Musk could further launch Bitcoin into the financial mainstream.
You have a failing company that had a flat stock market like MicroStrategy for a decade, and its head, who was a coke addict, decided then to bet the entire house on Bitcoin. That's irresponsible behavior.
Well, I've made a lot of money. I'm sure glad I bought Bitcoin. I guess now that everyone is bearish, I should sell it all and buy a suitable automobile.
You sold your Bitcoin for a Prius? Is this a joke?
Yo, Stacy, baby, I just bought back all my Bitcoin and sent you some. You get it?
Whatever, Wojak. Nobody wants your stupid Bcash. I'm with Michael now. A Bitcoin bull.
All your models are destroyed, completely devastated. Bitcoin goes to the moon.
satisfaction.
Get no. What's up, guys? It is Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. Welcome in, guys. Welcome, Paul, Damon, Buck52, Letha, Jay. How's everybody doing? We're at the Bitcoin block height of 891,561. TikTok, next block. I started writing some names in the on the wheel. Am I missing anybody? So far, I got everybody that commented, I believe. Let's get to those. Happy to catch you live, Paul. Jerry, no problem, Paul. Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Don't worry about it. Oh, no, yes. Damon, you're moving? Just kidding. Okay. I sent you a few sets, Jerry. Oh, Paul, come on, man. You're killing me, bro. Okay, somebody sent me 5,000 sats to my Speed wallet. Was that you, Paul? Thank you. If that's you, thank you very much. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I was a bad boy today, guys. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, sorry. On my strike, it was 10,000 sats. I'm guessing that's you, Paul. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Hey, Letha. Thank you so much. It really helps. Cheers, Damon. Buck52. Yes. Yep. Boy, it's a whole bunch. Neo, what up, brother? 5,000 from you. Thank you, Letha. Thank you so much, man. Sing it, Jerry. I'm trying. Sharper, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Guys, listen. If you're part of my group, you would have saw this. Mike Baker. Hey, is it Mitch Baker? VAW's in the house. How are you? MICH VAW. I did my interview this morning with Robin Sierra. And guys, listen. Bacon Booty in here? Yeah, Bacon Booty. Hey, what's up? I might have a big announcement coming up here real soon, guys. I'm not sure, but let's just say me and Robin get along very, very well. We had a 2-hour conversation today, almost, and I'm talking about even longer after the interview. So yeah, it was pretty good, pretty cool, man. 50 is a magic number. Yes, it is. Hey everyone, Letha, thank you again so much. I really appreciate that, man. And by the way, Letha and Paul, just to let you know, you don't have to donate every time you come here. I appreciate it, but don't feel any pressure. I'm just saying, because you guys do so much and done so much for me. So if you're like short on sats or something, I'm like, oh, I don't want to come in because I don't have anything. Don't ever think that, man. So if you never gave me another penny again, you've already given me too much. And I mean that. And I love you guys. Seriously. I runs New York. What's up, brother? Runs New York. Hope you guys are doing well. Am I missing anybody? Yes, Jerry. Let me see. Sing it. What up, Sharper? Do I have everybody on here? We got 10 people in here now. Good to see you, Bacon Booty. What a name, huh? Zach. What's up, brother? Can you put me on the board? Of course I can, Zach. Of course I can. How are you, sir? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see all you guys. Even though I can't see you. Cool, Kev. North Las Vegas. Cool, man. Cool. I am not North, but I am in Vegas. Cool, Kev. Cool, man. You going to the conference? I just found out that somebody that I watch on YouTube lives here in Vegas too. So we might be getting up together and doing some things. Who knows? Doing good. Good, man. Good. All right, so we got 12 people in here. The first block we're going to do is the Bitcoin block height of 891,561. Look at that. Nothing's in there, guys. Crazy. And look at these freaking fees, man. If you guys got to move something on the base layer, today's the day. Speaking of the base layer, thank you so much. Again, Paul, for your great donations. Hey, Mimi, let me put you on here. How you doing, ma'am? Let me put you on here. think Mimi won a little bit yesterday. Let's see. Glad to have you back, Mimi. All right. So am I missing anybody here? Am I missing anything? We're gonna watch part 2 of the video that we series that we started yesterday. The hidden secrets of money. If you missed the first one, I highly suggest you go back to that video, episode 1. So learned a lot in that first one. I'm gonna learn a lot on this one too. So let's do a spin real quick. Am I missing anybody? All right, so let's do it. Zach. Congratulations, sir. 562, 563, 564. Congratulations. Yes, great seeing everybody today. Verbal, he had a great announcement today in the Discord group, in the Bitcoiners for Freedom group. He's got a good product out there, guys. It's for Android right now. I can't really explain it. I can explain it a little bit, but it's pretty good. So I'll probably leave a link to that in the description, or you can leave a link to it if you want to. VAW. It's for Bitcoiners. And again, I'm not a technical guy, but it seems pretty cool. It's in the early stages of it. But let's just say you can talk to each other and zap with each other too. It's like a Noster meets Orange Pill app. Pretty cool. I have an iPhone, so I couldn't download the app for it yet, but he's working on it. So, all right. So let's do block number 562. Let's get into it. Buck. Congratulations, Buck. You are a 100 Satoshi winner. 100 Satoshi winner. You know, I think I'm gonna start doing some interviews here during the day, and not just doing live streams. I'm gonna start doing some videos during the day too. But I think I'm gonna start interviewing people, people like us, just regular plebs, and then upload it before I do my live or something like that. So obviously, I'm gonna do my first guest is gonna be Paul. I'll talk to him about that, and then I'll do Letha if she wants to, and then we'll go from there. If they want to though, and let me know if you want to do that. Let's make it interesting. ×2 to the next winner. Okay, cool. What block we at? Okay, we're at 563. Okay, we're there now. Let's do it. 200 for the next winner. Good idea, Buck. 200 for this winner. Damon. Congratulations, Damon. 200 to you, sir. 200 to you. I'm ready for an interview whenever you want, Jerry. Okay, cool. Corey from Got Sats. How are you, sir? Let me put you on here. You know what? We're going to do a ×2 again because Corey was here and I didn't see him. So we're going to do it again. This is for 200, this spin. And then VAW real quick says, at Jerry, thanks, bro. It's an app I developed for us to speak to one another, chat, and zap each other sats. I developed it for Android, but it's also a web app for Android and iPhone. It's called Zap City. So you guys make sure you check that out. Check that out. Yeah, you almost got it. You almost got it, Paul. You almost got it. You wouldn't have took it anyways. You're great. Yes. Thanks. Make it ×3 next winter. Maybe. Okay, let's do it again. This is for 200 for 563 because Corey didn't get in there. Ready? So good luck, everybody. 200 sats. Mimi. Wow, Mimi. You got 200 sats. Congratulations. Drop your address down there, Mimi. Because I don't think I wrote it down. Dude, not on there. Redo. Okay. Neil's not on there. Did you make a comment and I didn't see it? Yeah, you did. You did. Well, we got to do another 200 spin. See, when I make mistakes, which I always do, I pay for my mistakes, which we all should do. You are very welcome. Okay. This is for block 563 again for 200. So let's do it. Paul. Congratulations, Paul. 200. Paul. What would you like to do with that, Paul? Give it to Corey, okay? Congratulations, Corey. Got yourself 200 sats. Cool. All right. So let's get into. Let's see. Okay, we're all caught up. Any news going on today, guys? Because I've been pretty busy today. Anything you want me to cover or look at before we start the video? Because I want a couple of more people to pile in here. I want the newbies to come in. I'm waiting for Emily and Rudy. I don't know where they're at. Scorpion must be on the road or something. Thank you again so much for that. Those great donations. That's mind-boggling, man. I appreciate that. VAW, what's your speed wallet, Addy? You're always zapping others. Let me send you something, brother. He doesn't have any he doesn't have lightning, Paul. He just uses Onchain. Paul, who would you like me to give those sats to? Oh, Corey, you already told me. Okay. I don't use lightning, yeah. Paul's not he's not into any of that stuff. He just uses straight layer 1. Let's look at the price real quick. Guys, you know what I did this month? You know how I tell you I buy every hour on the hour? I took my monthly buy that I used and broke it up, and I smash bought the whole month. Because when it got into the mid 70s, I said it's probably not going to go any lower. So I made a bet and I smash bought. So I'm out of bullets right now, guys. And what I did is I set my monthly or my hourly. I'm the worst Bitcoiner. No, you're not. Hit the like, please. Say, hey, Scorpion, where's Rudy? Welcome in, Scorpion. I've been waiting on you, bro. I was just about to try to call you. And yeah, so I had to lower my buys to very, very low. So like really low. Hey, Monique, how are you, ma'am? Let me put you in here. Thanks for coming. He went back to the house. Okay. Leaf is the greeter. She's always greeting everybody. That's great. So is there anything you guys want me to look at or cover before we start the video? Episode number 2. This is a good episode. Number 2 is a good one too. Hidden Secrets of Money. I'm good. Thank you, Monique. I'm glad to hear that you're good. And I'm good. Thank you. I consolidated my UTXO today. Sheep. Yes. Good. Hey, Monique. Yes. These tariff news. I know that's big news. I was talking about that today on Robin's show. Again, tariffs are not inflationary. They're just taxes on goods and services. I'm not a tariff guy, but if somebody's fleecing us, we need to fleece them back. But if people are willing to pay for it, then hey, Quantum, then we got to pay them back. How are you, sir or ma'am or sir? Quantum, welcome. Okay, we're gonna do another spin for 564. 104% on China. Yeah. Listen, Trump is not playing games, man. He's not playing games. Now, do you, because, China raised it back with them. And again, it's going to make us independent from China. We only have two enemies in this country, guys, foreign and domestic. Foreign is China and domestic is the Democrats. I hate to say that, but the people that are in charge of the Democrat Party and the swamp creatures, period, those are our enemies. And China has too much of a grip on us as far as the monetary situation back and forth between goods and services, because again, we depend so much on them. It's not healthy. You know what I mean? And it's not a healthy relationship. It's really not. And also, we need to build our own chips instead of getting them from Taiwan. All right, so let's do a spin, and good luck, everybody. Buck. Congratulations, sir. Buck, you got 300 sats coming to you, buddy. Buck 52. I'm feeling good, man. Thank you. I'm glad to see you're doing good. I feel good today. VAW, stepped away a second. I'm back. Hello to everyone here. If I missed you. Okay. And by the way, guys, chime in if you're here, and if you leave, exit out of the chat, just tell us. Hey, Maggie, how are you? Good to see you, ma'am. See, this is why I didn't want to start the video, because I wanted Maggie and what's the other one? Emily. Corey, can you get a hold of Emily, or anybody can? I want her in here too. Hey. So, again, the big news is obviously the tariffs and everything else, and I think that's just noise. So, to be honest with you, sorry, I was making curry chicken. I was taking all my attention. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about it. That's why I send you the video. All right, so let's see what's going on with the price today, the price action. And as you can see, we're on a little dip, and it's 76,380. Sound like he's saying Lisa. Mike Tyson saying Lita. Yeah. But at the end of the day, guys, sats are on sale. Look at this. 1,310 sats you can get for your dollar today. When the price dips, what do? We buy, right? We buy. I love it, man. I love it. Let me let's look at the fear and greed index. See what we're doing on that. Yeah, 24. Wow. People are terrified right now. People are terrified. And again, the more it goes in the red, the better for us. This right here, this area right here is good. And again, not financial advice, but if you guys got any dry powder on the side, I would highly suggest considering getting these Satoshis, because again, how much do you think is going to cost you in a year from now to get 1,310 Satoshis? You think it'll cost more than $1? I think it's going to be several dollars. I really do. Emily's working. Okay. Thank you, Corey. I'm working too. And it's going to take way more than 1,300 and $1 to get 1,310 Satoshis. It just is. It's the hardest money in the world. And we need to get in where we fit in right now. So let's look at the companies by market cap. Get off to the side here. And right now, yeah, Paul's back. Maggie, ain't that good? And right now, our market cap has dropped a little bit to 1.569, but we're still top 10 in all things or all assets in the world. I mean, top 10, guys. This is crazy. 16 years old. You can't beat that. And then we got the trading desk here. I mean, the Bitcoins available here versus the price. Again, people are dumping. Idiots, man. Idiots, in my opinion. Hey, Paul. I'm out of money for now, so I stopped buying. I have 80K sats in Swan now and 16K in the wallet and 400 in crypto on a different platform. Good, man. Good. You got a lot of sats, man. You're almost to 100,000, 96,000, 16,000 on the wallet. Great, man. $400. That's it. Wish it was 400 coins. Right? My biggest concern is MicroStrategy doing something weird and messing with the market. I'm not really concerned with it. What would concern you about that? Because they can't manipulate it too much. Because they buy on OTC, so I don't think they can over the counter. That's what OTC means. Is there some whale games going on and some paper Bitcoin? Yeah, but I like it because they can't do it long term. You know, so I like the manipulation because just when I was in the precious metal game, when the Crimex was doing that, even though the precious metal dealers would raise the premiums on it, I'd still buy. I'd just buy it. That was just more ounces for me. Now it's more Satoshis. Okay, news about them selling. Yeah, I understand that. But there was no news about them selling, right? That's just you saying, if they did that in the future. I hope. So what do we got, guys? Oh, so make sure you guys go ahead and I'm doing it for free until May 1st. Is join my Bitcoiners for Freedom group on Signal. There's a link down below. We got I think we got 13 members in there now. Let me see. It's going pretty good. I give you guys some behind the scenes stuff. We got some good Bitcoiners in there. We got Letha in there. VAW's in there. Damon's in there. Jor's in there. Emily's in there. Rudy. Corey from Got Sats. Mia from the Bitcoin Gospel. Scorpion Metals is in there. Sin. Diesel's in there. We got some good people, man. Okay, Quantum. No problem, bro. So we got some good people. So make sure you guys click on that link and then send me an invite and I'll click you in. It's $1 a month starting May 1st. But if you want to pay for the whole year, it's $10 for the whole year. And it's the best dollar you ever spend. It's really, really cheap. And by show of a raise of hands, who's coming to this in Vegas? Who's coming to that? It is, Maggie. I'll send you the link. You can join it. BW, honestly, I play with a few things. I have 20 XRP coins, 136 million Dogelin Mars, and 4 million Shiba. None of it's worth anything. Just hoping. Yeah. Listen, I'm a guy that okay, Mimi. You want me to take you off the wheel? I'm a guy that's free capitalist. So do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Just make sure you got more Bitcoin. Buck, it would be nuts if Sailor sold. I don't see it though, but we never know. I saw an analyst talking about him selling and Bitcoin dropping to 10K. I don't see it though. Yeah, I don't see it either. Strategy lost 5.9 billion on Bitcoin in the first quarter. Hasn't bought any since. Huh? They haven't bought any since, huh? I didn't know that. All right, Mimi, let me know when you're back in. I'm going to take you off the wheel for right now. And then Quantum, I'll take you off the wheel for a second. Let me know when you're back. Verbal. It would be nuts as soon as I don't see it. Yeah. We'll see. All right. So we're at 565. Let's see. Okay. We got 2 spins to do. 565 and 566. All right. Let's spin this thing. Zach, strategy will be fine. They made it through the 2022 bear market. Yeah, I'm not worried about them at all. At all. Good luck, guys. Jay. Congratulations, Jay. When you can pick up 2 million coins for $20, it is a chance I will try. If it makes it to $1, that's what I'm doing with those two. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just going to the casino. That's all. Nothing wrong with it. No worries, bro. I hope they hit for you, bro. Cash out, buy some lifestyle chips, and put the remainder on Bitcoin. Yeah. Jay, are you still here, sir? Let me know. For those of you that are new, I did an interview today with Robin Sierra on his channel. He interviews Bitcoiners every day, 7 days a week. And it went pretty gold. Wait a minute. Somebody just sent me that can't be right. I just saw a notification that said I have 100,000 sats on the way. Unless that was yeah. Somebody just sent 100,000 Satoshis, man. I don't know who did that. But thank you. Please. I mean, thank you. My goodness. Party people. Jor. Hold on. Let me put you on here. Jor, we got to talk, my friend. We have to talk, sir. Look at your signal phone. I tried to call you. 88 sats radio. We got a big announcement, Jor. And yeah. Yes, Jor, yes. Today is a big day for me. I bought my first BTC 6 years ago. Wow, Paul. Congratulations. 6 years. Wow. Congratulations, man. Hey, Jor. Cheers, Jerry. Paul, was that you again? Paul, you didn't send that. Did you? Paul. Thank you, man. I mean, whoever did that, I think it was Paul. Thank you very much. Robin rocks. Looking forward to the new interview, bro. I've been following him since he had under 2K subs. He's blowing up just like you. I'm not blowing up, but thank you for saying that, VW. What's my wallet name? Jerry Loves Freedom. At speed. I don't know. I don't put it up here. I mean, it's in the description box. I don't put it up here because I feel like I don't know. I'm giving you guys sats and then I'm putting my link up there. It's like, but I get it. But thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's amazing, Paul. Yeah, 6 years. Wow. Joy for the score. 88 in the building. Good branding. Yes. 88. I was watching a little bit of your video today, Jor. Getting prepped for the interview. I did an interview with Robin today. And I heard you say Back to the Future. Listen to this, guys. This is how this works with the numbers. Back to the Future, and I should play the clip. When you get up to 88 miles an hour, that's when you do time travel. And Jor was talking about that. Satoshi Nakamoto being a time traveler. And it is 88 miles per hour. Definitely. Big announcement. I like it. Yes, Jor. And you have been volunteered, my friend. Well, congrats, Jerry. You deserve it. Thank you, Monique. Thank you very much. Happy anniversary. Cheers, Jor. Yeah, sorry, I got to get caught up. Okay, you're back. Good. Yeah, it's beautiful chat. Hey, Paulie. Stepping away for a moment, Jerry. Okay, let me put Quantum back in here. And then Damon's off for a second. Let me know when you're back. I didn't forget you this time, Jor. Quantum, okay. Your wallet name is Jerry. Jerry loves a lot of food. No, that's not it. But I do like a lot of food. That's a good name. Thank you, the troll. Hey, CYM, clean your machine. How are you, sir? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Cheers, clean. Yes. 88888. Yes, Jor is the number 8 for sure. That is for helping me out the other day, bro. Send a little interest back. You don't have to do that, sir. Scorpion. Okay. Thank you, Scorpion. I appreciate that. Fat Zap from Scorpion Metals sent me 5,000 sats. I mean, excuse me, 1,000 sats. Thank you. Somebody else sent me 5,000. Yesterday was the first day I didn't get any donations yesterday, and it was cool. It was all good. I didn't even trip. You know, John Tutor. So today just made it up. So that's great. Hey everybody, everybody's saying hey. I checked Signal, only seen a missed call earlier. Missed it. I was helping my grandma. Say no doubt. I was definitely not gonna text it. I was calling you because I had somebody else on the thing with me, and we were all going to talk to you, Jor. And we have a big announcement coming up. Let's chat after you want. Of course we are. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first name I thought of, I said, "Oh, it's got to be Jor. Got to be Jor." So Jor, let's just say it's going to be good. And Vegas is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so anyways, join my Discord group and you'll see all that behind the scenes stuff. All right, so let's do a spin real quick. And let's do it. Yes, Jor. And I got your name on here too. Bacon Booty? Yes, Bacon Booty. What a name. What a name. Bacon Booty, are you still here, ma'am? Yes, Megan. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Bacon Booty, are you still here? That was for 566. We're gonna turn on this video soon, guys. I've been almost a freaking 45 minutes, 40 minutes. Oh Lord. Okay, we're all caught up. Bacon, yes. Working out, need some music, but we'll hang out in the chat. Let me know when I win. Okay. Go ahead and do your workout, man. Listen to you because I'm gonna play the video. Go ahead and do your workout for 30 minutes and come back, bro. Play you some pump up music. Congrats, Booty. I don't think Bacon Booty's here. You are the host of the new game show, Family Food, starring Steve Starvey. That sounds familiar. Family Food, starring Steve Starvey. Okay. I gotta. But I don't think I'm Starvey though. Am I? The troll? Okay, Bacon Booty is not here. I don't think. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Cool. Not here? Okay. I am gonna take you off the list real quick. Again, guys, if you leave the chat, which is fine, just let us know so I can take you off the wheel, okay? Nice handle, Bacon. Glad to see you. Hey, there you go. Everybody's being nice to the troll. All right, let's do that spin again. I'm going to start the part 2 video. 40 minutes into the stream. I don't know how to pronounce this person's name. Looks like Michael without the O. Mike, are you here, sir, ma'am? Let me know. I can't get no. Let me know if you're here. If not, we'll do another spin. We got up to 31 congruent viewers yesterday, which is really good for my channel. Very, very happy about that. Congrats, Mike. Yep. I don't think they're here anymore. Let me know if you are. Let me read that one more time. You are the host of the new game show, Family Food, starring Steve Starvey. You gotta love the troll, man. Where's Jimmy John where you need him? All right, so it looks like they're not here. So let me take them off the list. Sorry, guys. Let's do it one more time. We can't have not a winner. Paul, by the way, who are you going to give your stats to? Oh, you gave him to Corey. I keep asking that. Duh. Bacon Booty. Okay. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. DAW. Congratulations. Glee Machine says, testing your micro printing on the wheel. Yeah, man. So I think VAW's still here. Yeah, he's here. Okay, so let's play part 2 of the series, Hidden Secrets of Money, episode 2, USA 7 Stages of Empire. So that's great. Send those to Megan. Thank you, VAW. I sure will. Congratulations, Maggie. All right, so without further ado, let's get into this video, and we will answer questions throughout.
Is going to have a new monetary system in this decade that we're in. We're going to experience this huge deflationary crash around the world, and people will just lose confidence in currency. And what do they always go back to throughout history? Time after time, for the last 5,000 years actually, they always go back to gold and silver. We are entering a period of financial crisis that is the greatest the world has ever known. The wealth transfer that will take place during this decade is the greatest wealth transfer in history. Wealth is never destroyed. It is merely transferred, and that means that on the opposite side of every crisis there is an opportunity. The great news is that all you have to do to turn this crisis into your great opportunity is to educate yourself. I believe that the best investment that you can make in your lifetime is your own education. Education on the history of money, education on finance, education on how the global economy works, education on how all of these guys, the central bankers, the stock market, how they can cheat you, how they can scam you. If you learn what is going on and how the financial world works, you can put yourself on the correct side of this wealth transfer. Winston Churchill once said that the further you look into the past, the further that you can see into the future. This program is all about creating your own crystal ball, being able to gaze into the future, being able to change this crisis, the greatest crisis in the history of mankind, into your great opportunity. So it all started back in 1999 when my sister and I hired a financial planner to help my mother with her assets, and we gave him control of the family's assets, and in the next year and a half he lost 50% of what she had. You know, he would come to us every 6 months, we'd have a meeting, and he'd have this smile on his face, just ear to ear smile, going, "We did really well. The S&P lost 24% and you only lost 18." And so I fired him and I moved all of her assets to cash, and I dove into studying the financial markets, which led me into studying the economy. And when you start reading about the global economy, the people that are concerned with trade deficits and budget deficits, it's the hard money advocates, the gold community. And once I started reading them, they also write about monetary history, and then I really fell in love, because monetary history just repeats and repeats over and over again, echoing all the way back to the beginnings of civilization. Gold and silver have been the predominant currencies for about 5,000 years, but it wasn't until somewhere between 680 BC and 630 BC that they became money. That's when they were minted into coins of equal weights somewhere in Lydia, where each coin was the same size and had the same weight. This made them interchangeable. It's called fungible. At that point, they became useful as a unit of account, a measurement. You could price a good or a service in those gold or silver coins in a certain number of them. And it was always the same for anybody whenever they were buying that good or service. But it wasn't until they made their way to the world's first free market society, the prototype of democracy, the cradle of civilization, Athens, that they exploded in.
He's got Bitcoin. Mike Maloney does have Bitcoin. He knows hard money when he sees it. They're right on about the problem, but the Bitcoin, but with Bitcoin, their gold is basically a pet rock. Yeah. But remember, this series was shot in 2011, late 2011, 2012, and Bitcoin wasn't really doing anything then, and it was the way. Gold was the way. You know what I mean? If they could somehow learn how to do something with it, digitize it, like Peter Schiff says, or Peter Shifty says, but you can't do it. You can't trust a custodian. So Bitcoin is the only way. It really is.
Use. Suddenly, money found its natural home, the free markets. Athens was the first society to have a working tax system and free markets. This enabled them to rise to the pinnacle of civilization. Their prosperity allowed them to create great works of art and achieve a level of architecture and engineering that the world had not yet seen. Here we are 2,500 years later, and people are still in awe of their achievements. It was truly a fantastic period in human history, and the Athens star shone brightly for many years. So this begs the question, what went wrong? How did such a great and powerful civilization fall? The answer lies in the same pattern that we see throughout history: too much greed and too much war. It was when the Athenians got involved in the Peloponnesian Wars, a war with Sparta, that their monetary problems began. First, they lost access to their gold and silver mines. They were also paying armies that were on foot, and they were miles and miles away from Athens. So as they pay their armies to buy goods and services from the local populations, a deflation occurs in Athens because they're sending all of their coinage out of the city. Then they started debasing their coinage to pay for the war. If you take in 1,000 coins in taxes, and then you melt those down, those gold coins, and you mix 50% copper into your gold, now you can mint 2,000 coins. So if you take in only 1,000 coins, but you spend 2,000 coins, what is that called? That is deficit spending.
That is called theft, ladies and gentlemen. It's also called theft. And there it is. They took all the gold coins in during the war, dumped them in, melted them down, mixed in 1,000 coins of copper or whatever, right? And then they debased the currency. That's exactly what we're doing today. Exactly, Monique. So they literally diluted the gold. Wow, yes. That's a great point. You're getting 100 sats for that, Monique. Because Monique 100. Because that's where we get the money dilution from that right there. So even with the gold, they steal it, right? You cannot trust human beings being in charge of money. You just can't do it, because you see what happens. It's always greed, because they needed to fund the war. And you see the money supply was going down as the soldiers left. When the soldiers were leaving, you see the money supply was just dwindling. And they ran out. This is what, if you have a solid money, a hard money, then that means you can't fund these wars, right? If it's fair and balanced. Monique, trust me, it's a theme that repeats over and over. Yes. It's called fleecing and swindling. Yes. Okay, thanks, Jimmy. No problem, Monique. No problem. I see that, Zach. Then it goes to silver. Then it goes to 90% silver. Then 50%. Then no silver to useless metal. Absolutely. Paul says pound the like button. And I agree with you, Paul. Thank you. That 100,000 sats went through. Again, you're my children's children is going to be searching your children's children for what you did for me, Paul, and Letha. And I really appreciate you, man. I love you, man. Seriously. That means a lot. Pre-1964 dimes, quarters, and half dollars were 90% silver. Yep. Oh, okay. That's why old change is worth more. Yes. Exactly, Monique. Right. Yep. You're in the U.S., yeah. When I used to buy silver, that was my favorite one, constitutional. I am going to buy constitutional silver back. I made a video about how I'm going to trade in my Bitcoin for it, but let's continue.
Those gold coins, and you mix 50% copper into your gold, now you can mint 2,000 coins. So if you take in only 1,000 coins, but you spend 2,000 coins, what is that called? That is deficit spending. Athens began to do that during this war with Sparta. They also had these great public works, which were very expensive. And
my dad bought me some constitutional silver. Funny. Oh, he did. Okay. What'd you do with it?
they finished the Temple of Athena Nike during the truce in the middle. There was a 6-year truce in the middle of this 27-year war. So they didn't stop their great public works and allow their market economy to heal from the expense of this war. As they debased their coinage, people would take the new debased coins at face value at first, until there were a whole bunch of those. And there's something called Gresham's Law, where people tend to save to keep the thing that's rare, and they spend the thing that's common into circulation first. So all of the gold and silver coins.
That's very important. I want to touch on that for a minute. That's what happened when you had quote unquote rare coins. They weren't really rare. They were just rare in compared to the counterfeited ones, the darker ones with the copper in it. And they always want to give up the older ones first. It was just like when we were watching the Milton Friedman video the other day when they were talking about when they were trading tobacco for money. What would they do with the good harvest of tobacco? They would keep it, but the old garbage stuff they would trade for goods and services. Quarter dime and a half to 1964, 90% silver. 1965 to 1970 halves for 40% of silver. Yep. Scorpion. I used to have a lot of that stuff. That was the last to go. That was so tough. But I talked to my silver. I looked at it. I said, I love you, but I'll be back. Okay. I will be back. And I'll get them back. Don't worry. But just with a little bit of Satoshis. War nickels were 35%. Yep.
Would take the new debased coins at face value at first until there were a whole bunch of those. And there's something called Gresham's Law where people tend to save to keep the thing that's rare, and they spend the thing that's common into circulation first. So all of the gold and silver coins started to disappear from circulation and become quite rare, and it was just these copper coins. Suddenly, it took a whole bunch of copper coins to buy a gold or silver coin, one of those old gold or silver coins. This is the first time that gold or silver ever had a price. Before that, everything was measured in a weight of gold and silver. So a large factor in Athens' downfall was the expense of war, the expansion of empire, the debasement of their currency, the eventual inflation that was caused. They minted these coins until they became...
When the newbies talk, we got to listen. Okay, I'm seeing the pattern. When people started questioning these coins, it's like when foreign countries started asking for the gold instead of dollars, and we quote unquote temporarily got off the gold standards. Hey, yeah, that's exactly what happened in 1971. Wow. You sure you're new, Monique? Because you sound like you know what you're talking about here. That's absolutely true. That's exactly what happened. Wow, good job. I have a love for silver too, especially the old coins. Yes, absolutely. Gold to silver ratio is roughly 100 to 1 right now. Not a bad time to get some silver. Yeah, if you're into that, which I love silver. If I was into silver like I was before, because I believe it's like 102 to 105 to 1. That's a crazy ratio. Again, it only comes out of the ground 16 to 1. 16 ounces to every 16 ounces of silver to every 1 ounce of gold. That's crazy. Yeah, Monique, it's a repeated pattern over and over. Now we're pretty much at the end of the fiat standard and they just print paper all the time. Yeah. I say we got 15, 20 years left. Some people think less, but I think it's about that.
Nothing but flecks of copper. This was actually the world's first hyperinflation. And what it did, its downfall, was the expense of war, the expansion of empire, the debasement of their currency, the eventual inflation that was caused. They minted these coins until they became nothing but flecks of copper. This was actually the world's first hyperinflation. And what it did was it financially debilitated Athens to the point where in 404 BC they surrendered to Sparta. And eventually they became nothing but a satellite of Rome. The thing that amazes me.
So the moral of the story right there in that first section is what? You got bad money. You heard what he said. They only became a orbit of Rome.
BC, they surrendered to Sparta. And eventually they became nothing but a satellite of Rome.
A satellite of Rome. In other words, when your fiat currency dies or you start debasing your currency and you don't have solid money anymore, it's gone. Your society has collapsed. Really. Gold and silver make great jewelry, but not money. Absolutely. Dinner time. Got to go. Okay, cool, Kev. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Let me take you off the list. Speaking of that, we're going to do some spins real quick. So yeah, I love this series. This taught me so much. I watched this over and over and over again when I first started to learn about it. So yeah. So let's go ahead and go over to the blocks. Let's see. 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 8. Okay, we got 2 spins to go. Monique, I owe you 100 sats. I wrote that down. Appreciate you, bro. All right, so let's do a spin and let's do it. Good luck. Buck 52, I need your address. I'm seeing that, Zach. I've seen that. I wonder how long it will take everyone to catch on. Yeah. Yay. Jay's still here, I'm guessing. Congratulations, brother. Let me know if you're not here. I mean, let me know if you're here. I don't think you can let me know if you're not here. Yeah, it's just like it's crazy. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Number one, like George says, once that green light comes on, they'll never shut off. But also, too, it's like you want people to see what you see, right? Because you want to drag them with you because you love them so much. I was talking about that today in the interview, and I was just like, it's just my absolute mission to not only get as much knowledge as I can about this, and being on this live helps me because you guys teach me a lot, and then watching these videos again and getting ideas from you guys, studying, but also stacking as much as I can for myself and my family, and then teaching others, the people that are closest to me, the people that you love the most. Make a list of all those people, and again, make sure your oxygen mask is on first, like the flight attendant uh you know demonstration, and make sure you understand everything before you tell anybody. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be their teacher. So, Jay, are you here, sir? Zach, in my opinion, it's going to be a while. Think of it like adoption of the internet over the past 30 years, gradually, then suddenly. Yeah. I don't know how old you are, Monique, but when the internet came out, Megan, we know this. Everybody thought it was stupid and dumb, and the AOL. I think we're at the dial-ups part of it right now. Like 10 years, Bitcoin is just going to be everywhere. I really believe that. It's going to be everywhere. And it's just going to be it's going to be on your iPhone, it's going to be on your computers, it's going to be on a device that we don't even have yet. It's going to be a household name. So Jay, did you leave, sir? Because I'm going to spin it again if you're not here. I really appreciate you guys being here too. It's not fun being by yourself. Okay, let me take Jay off. We'll do another spin. You guys liking this series so far? Because I freaking love it. All right, let's do another spin. Good luck. Clean your machine. You are the winner, sir. Are you here? That is the question. Monique, oh yeah, I'm only 23. All I know is the world with the internet. Okay, but I can see that. My parents talk about how no one believed in the internet and thought it was a crazy idea. Yeah. Yes. Clean your machine. You're here. Okay, good. It was. It was like that. It was crazy. I mean, my dad, my mom, and stuff like that. They've seen so much and they've had so much come in their lifetime. Again, okay, Aiden. Okay, I got you, man. I already knew that, Aiden. And technology is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, Monique. Love it also, yes. CM, my brother. Dang, 23 and getting orange pills. That's awesome. Yes. Now imagine this, Monique. You gotta imagine, do your best, Monique, to get to 1 million Satoshis. I know that seems like a lot of money right now. Once you start learning, maybe you can teach your parents. Sounds like your dad is already kind of, with the precious metal thing. But again, I don't know how old he is. I don't know what he does, or your mom or whatever, because a lot of times when they're in precious metals, they're very stubborn. But get as many Satoshis as you can, young lady, seriously. But you're doing a great job being here. All right, 568. Buck, I need your address, bro, unless you're going to give them away to somebody. Scorpion. You're the winner, sir. I know you're here. Congratulations. I don't even got to ask if you're here. I know you're here. Okay, we're all caught up. Give him the Scorpion. Is that what you're saying, Buck? I think that's what you're saying. I think my dad's around you. He's definitely hard on silver, but I think he'd be open to it. Okay, maybe you should bring him on. Bring him on. Meg, CYM, you're a good grandpa. Yes, I'm doing this for my granddaughter, setting her up. She's only 4 months old. My goodness, and she's cute. I cannot wait to see her too. She's so freaking cute. Exponential growth coming. Yeah. Yes. Congrats. Yes. Oh, we got a block out. Look at that block coming out. Congrats, Scorpion. Yes. Love that bug 52. Yep. Yes. Okay. Scorpion. Got it. So Scorpion from buck 52. That's 200. So now I owe Scorpion 300. Scorpion, you're the man, bro. Scorpion's a good dude, man. Real good dude. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm back a little overtime to work for some sets. So no problem, brother. Let me put you back on the list. No problem. Thanks for letting us let us know you're here. Damon. Appreciate you. That's great, Megan. She's lucky to have you. Yes, she is. Great grandma. Sats, we know it. VAW, Monique, you're going to be a millionaire by 40. Keep stacking. Satoshi millionaire. Satoshi millionaire, for sure. You sound very smart, too, by the way. Just saying. Just saying. Very smart. All right, let's do another spin for block height of 891,569. Let's do it. Good luck, guys. Uh-oh. Zach. Zach, you are the winner. I'm basically trying to make money for my kids and grandkids to have a better life than I did. Not that it is bad, but yeah, I know, man. It's like when you have children, your life changes, man. It's not about you anymore. It's just not. You know what I mean? That's awesome. Yes. That's the goal, VAW. Thank you. Yep. You keep doing this, you're gonna be a millionaire for sure. Bacon booty, yes. Give it to Bacon Booty, Damon? No, Damon 200, give it to Bacon Booty. Scorpion, I want them to work because they want to, not because they have to. Exactly. Congrats. Yes. Well, I got pretty lucky on this one. Yeah. Sure did. Zach. Yep. Sure did. Congrats. All right. So let's continue with the video. Let's keep on learning and keep on stacking. Let's go.
The thing that amazes me is how history just keeps on repeating and repeating and repeating, and we never learn from all of our stupid mistakes. We just repeat the same stupid mistakes over and over and over again. Today, we are doing the same thing that the Athenians did that caused the loss of their great culture. We're doing the same currency debasement. We're doing the same deficit spending, and it's for the same reasons. It's for war, and it's for great public works.
The interesting thing about the Peloponnesian War was how it started. I would say one of the interesting parallels is that it started really with Athens at its height and with a level of hubris that set them down the road towards ruin. Perhaps they felt that they were,
superior, couldn't make a mistake.
Exactly.
They knew better.
Exactly. And they ended up destroying their society as a result.
It's a road that we're going down today, right?
I think absolutely.
Yeah. There was a play written shortly after the Peloponnesian Wars about the worthlessness of the copper flecks that were their coinage at the time. So we go from gold and silver, very high value money, to a currency that has a face value. And it's the first example that I can find in history where a war and great public works were being funded through deficit spending.
What you've just seen is the first recorded example of one of the most predictable hidden secrets of money, the 7 stages of empire. It's a long-term cycle that echoes throughout history right to this very day and is basically a societal pendulum that swings from quality money to quantity currency and back again to quality money. It always plays out in 7 stages. It always ends with gold delivering a knockout blow to debased currencies. And it goes like this. Stage 1. A country starts out with good money, which is either gold or silver, or it's backed by gold or silver. Stage 2. As it develops economically and socially, it begins.
Make sure you guys are writing this down. Monique, what's your speed wallet, Addy? Nice. This is stage 2.
To take on more and more economic burdens, adding layer upon layer of public works. Stage 3. As its economic affluence grows, so does its political influence, and it increases expenditures to fund a massive military. Stage 4. Eventually, it puts its military to use, and expenditures explode. Stage 5. To fund the war, it steals the wealth of its people by debasing their coinage with base metals, or by replacing their money with currency that can be created in unlimited quantities. Stage 6. The loss in purchasing power of the expanded currency supply is sensed by the population and the financial markets, triggering a loss of faith in the currency. Stage 7. A mass movement out of currency into precious metals and other tangible assets takes place. The currency collapses, and gold and silver rise in price as they account for the huge quantity of currency that was created. This process transfers massive wealth to those who had the foresight to position themselves beforehand in real money, gold and silver.
Here's the trivia question. You guys saw all 7 of those. What stage are we at right now? Just put in a number. First one that gets it gets 100 sats. What stage are we at right there out of all those 7? Put a number in the chat. Whoever gets it first. Paul, you got it. Paul's the winner. Luminous. New face, how are you? Clean your machine. You're right there. Luminous, I haven't seen you, I don't think. Welcome. Luminous. Yes, Megan, you were right. Clean your machine, you were right. Monique, you were right, yeah. So, Paul, who would you like me to give those to? Trivia. Paul. 100. Megan, okay. To Maggie. Congratulations, Maggie. You got it right, too. So, great job, guys.
You know, our monetary system basically steals from the poor and middle class and transfers the wealth to the banks. We see this throughout history, and it's just repeating over and over again. What's happening in Greece right now is basically the same thing that was happening back in 407 BC. The deficit spending to fund all of these public works and the debasement of their currency supply caused them to become nothing but a satellite of Rome. Today, they're becoming nothing but a satellite of the banks.
Well, the idea of Gresham's law is simply that people are going to hold on to what's value and spend what isn't valuable. Way back in my youth, I was 11 years old when we went from a silver-based monetary system to a purely fiat system. People saw that silver was money, they got used to it, they didn't really think about it. And in 1965, under President Johnson, he basically said,
Sent you some sats, Monique. Good. Maggie, Clean Your Machine wants you to get a speed wallet for your granddaughter. She can send you some sats. Now, I'm going to rewind this part because this is what we were just talking about with the silver, with the constitutional. This guy's a silver bug, so let's check it out. Thank you guys for doing that. Really. Thank you. Men of Bitcoin. You guys are good men. Always take care of the women.
people are going to hold on to what's value and spend what isn't valuable. Way back in my youth, I was 11 years old when we went.
VAW, always a pleasure, man. Thank you. We love you, man. Let me take you off the list. Thank you for coming in, bro. Thank you for the donations to the ladies. Really appreciate that, man. Really do. Oh my God. Thanks, Zach. Wow, that must have been a fat zap. Thank you, Zach, for doing that. I can't wait for the banks to disappear. My aunt used to collect SSI in 1 year. Those clowns took half her income in overdraft fees. Wow. Yeah, these people are evil, man. These banksters are evil. Heck yeah, I will send to the granddaughter too. Yes. I think Maggie must be cooking right now. Good night, VAW. Good night, guys. Zach might have been from VAW. He sent 2, it looks like. Yeah. Good night, VAW. Wow, you guys are so nice, man. Thank you.
From a silver-based monetary system to a purely fiat system. People saw that silver was money. They got used to it. They didn't really think about it. And in 1965, under President Johnson, He basically said, well, silver's too valuable to be money. We're going to just start putting out these substitutes, which were what we call cupro-nickel coins. They were nickel, they were copper plated with nickel at the time. And of course, the metal value was far less. And I understood that as a kid, and yet very few adults really seemed to get the idea of what was really going on. There were a few and only.
This is what you were talking about earlier. Mimi's back. Okay, let me put you on the thing. This is what we were talking about earlier. Scorpion Metals and Monique were talking about this. Your dad bought you some constitutional silver, and got you, Maggie. They were wondering, a couple people wondering what your granddaughter's Addy was for the wallet, for her wallet. This is the best group ever. Yes, of course. I saw his too. You guys are amazing. Yes. That's sad. Very sad. Bank and IRS are scum. My grandma and dementia and the IRS stole it. Lamb, can you send Alex a speed wallet invite so she can set up for Savannah? No, you send it to her so you can get the credit. You send her the invite. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. That's exactly what you guys were talking about. This is what Scorpion was talking about. And LBJ, who is evil as hell, signed it out of there. This is why I used to collect it somewhere. So let's watch it again.
And of course, the metal value was far less. And I understood that as a kid, and yet very few adults really seemed to get the idea of what was really going on. There were a few, and it only takes a few. And of course, the Gresham's law took effect, so the currency came out of circulation rapidly. It's very interesting to me, knowing monetary history fairly well, is they're always, put out in silver-looking or gold-looking form. I mean, in most cases, you'll have, in fact, they look rather interesting. I mean, some of them are like silver on the inside and gold on the outside. With the look, they have no value at all, really, other than melt value of pot metal. To me, it's sort of at a subconscious level. Why are they making them gold-colored? Why are they making them silver-colored? I think there's an inherent knowledge in the human species that knows that gold and silver have value. So if they look in their pocket and they see something gold-colored or silver-colored, it gives them kind of a warm, fuzzy feeling. And it's like, oh yeah, but there's no value in these coins, really.
The next question is, how does this affect you? My next stop was in London, where I'd been asked to give a presentation to a group of businessmen. They wanted to understand the reason that gold had surged recently, and I explained to them that to understand gold, you have to understand monetary history. Once you see where we've come from, you can get a much clearer understanding of how the 7 stages of empire are playing out right now. We weren't allowed to show their faces, but we were allowed to film my presentation. So here it is, the last 140 years of monetary history condensed into just 10 minutes. Keep the 7 stages of empire in mind, and as you watch this, see if you can recognize the signs.
Everybody thinks the US dollar is still as good as gold, and it hasn't been since 1971. This is the world monetary systems. From 1873, when Germany went on the classical gold standard, where each unit of currency is backed up by an equivalent amount of gold in the treasury. In the United States, $20 bill, $20 gold piece in the vaults. Go into any bank, slap down your currency, which was a receipt for money, a claim check on money, ask for your money, gold and silver, and they would give it to you. So this shows, this is currency, this is money. Otherwise, there was no reason for any government to store gold in their vaults and then print this currency that was backed by gold. This is what gives confidence in that, and it gives governments the ability to start this scam in the first place, where they print these receipts for gold, and then they can print more of them than...
Let's read that. This certifies that there have been deposited in the treasury of. So it doesn't say that anymore. In gold coin payable to the bearer on demand at the bottom. Crazy.
Than gold that exists. And that happened when we got to World War I, and all the combatants stopped redemption rights. You could no longer go in the bank and trade your pounds, lira, marks, francs, no longer redeemable in gold, and they lit up the printing presses and started printing like crazy. Then between the wars, they went on something called the gold exchange standard, where currencies would be backed partially by gold. So in the United States, under the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, the Federal Reserve was allowed to put $50 worth of claim checks on gold, currency in circulation, backed up by only $20 worth of gold. So it was a 40...
Wow.
percent reserve ratio.
Wow. So a $50 bill in the I think he said the 1950s would only get you $20 of gold. Crazy.
For every $20 gold piece in the vault, they could put $50 in circulation.
We're the dollars of the nation on parade. We're the biggest batch of dollars ever made. Oh, we used to march by millions, but now we march by billions, and maybe we'll be trillions for your day. We're the
Then we get to 1944. Now, during both wars, Europe paid the U.S. with gold. During World War I, the U.S. didn't get into the war until the very end of it. We didn't really have troops on the ground here in any quantity until the last 6 months of the war. So for the first 4 years or so, we're selling you, you take all of your young men off of the farms and turn them into soldiers. You take your factories that make toasters and they start making machine guns. Your factories that made cars are now building tanks. And so you turn your economy toward war, and all of your consumer goods and your grains had to be imported from the United States, and you paid us with gold. Then in World War II, Hitler starts saber rattling in 1936, annexes Austria in 38, invades Poland in 39. Pearl Harbor wasn't until the end of 1941. We didn't.
I think they made everyone turn in their gold early in the 1900s and made it so that no one could exchange money for them, right? Yes. Seems like that's when we really got off the gold standard. Yeah, 1933. Yep, and they repriced it and doubled the price. Almost. It went from $20 and something cents to 35 something in 1933 to early 1935, I believe, or 1934. Yep. I'm not sure if he said that. It cut out for a little bit. Yeah. I'll go back. Gold Eagles still save $50 on them. Wow, exactly. And they're worth way more than that now.
All of your young men off of the farms and turn them into soldiers. You take your factories that make toasters and they start making machine guns. Your factories that made cars are now building tanks. And so you turn your economy toward war, and all of your consumer goods and your grains had to be imported from the United States, and you paid us with gold. Then in World War II, Hitler starts saber rattling in 1936, annexes Austria in 38, invades Poland in 39. Pearl Harbor wasn't until the end of 1941. We didn't have troops on the ground until, I believe, August of 42. So again, there's like 6 years where you're paying us with your gold and we're selling you stuff. This is where Americans have this myth that war is good for the economy. War is good for the economy if you're not in it and you're selling them the tools of the trade.
Yes, America's national income gets bigger and bigger. In 1943, it was $142 billion. That was double the 1939 figure, triple the figure for 1933.
But by the end of World War II, the U.S. had 2/3 of all the world's monetary gold, the central bank gold, and the rest of the world had to share the other third, and Europe had none. So the world monetary system was no longer going to work. It would collapse. But we had made all these loans of dollars to Europe, so Europe was flooded with dollars. And so representatives from around the world met at Bretton Woods, New Hampshire in 1944. They came up with a new...
What was that called when they went there? The Bretton Woods, what was it called? 100 Satoshis. What was that called, guys? They did something, and they called it something. 1944. Going once, going twice.
World monetary system called the Bretton Woods system, where every currency on the planet, with the exception of just a few,
Bretton Woods Agreement. Yes, Scorpion. Yep. Gotcha, Scorpion. They called it the Bretton Woods system. And he's going to explain it right here. Pay attention to this, guys.
So Europe was flooded with dollars. And so representatives from around the world met at Bretton Woods, New Hampshire.
They met in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Now, remember, at this time, we collected all the gold because we were making stuff for the war, right? So we had 2/3 of the entire gold stockpile in America. And this is what they were talking about in Bretton Woods, New Jersey.
In 1944, they came up with a new world monetary system called the Bretton Woods system, where every currency on the planet, with the exception of just a few, they would be backed by the US dollar, and the US dollar would then be backed by gold at $35 per ounce. This gave confidence to all currencies. So this gave the world stability, and it pegged all the world's currencies to each other through the dollar to gold. So there was no such thing as the Forex. Currencies didn't float. The exchange rates were fixed year after year, and this helped to make world trade boom. Then the dollar standard starts because we kept on printing dollars. Under the Bretton Woods system, there was no reserve ratio established where the US actually had to have a certain amount of gold for how many dollars we created. So we had done.
Yep. 1944 until today, we are still the dollars, the U.S. Are the world reserve currency. Exactly. But like he said, we had no checks and balances of how many dollars, the ratio of how many gold there was. So you notice the price was in 1944 in the Bretton Woods Agreement, the price of gold was $35. But remember, 1933 was like $20.67.
Under the Bretton Woods system, there was no reserve ratio established where the U.S. actually had to have a certain amount of gold for how many dollars we created. So we had done a bunch of deficit spending for Korea, for Vietnam, for Johnson's Great Society, and expanded the currency supply, the amount of paper dollars in circulation, and exported them all over the world. And then in the 60s, Charles de Gaulle, president of France, realizes that we don't have the gold to back up the dollars.
Le fait que beaucoup d'États acceptent par principe.
This is when it all started, guys. Everybody talks about Richard Nixon taking us off the gold standard on August 15, 1971. This gentleman right here and a few other countries, but him especially, he's the reason why we did it, because he didn't believe America sending out all these dollars all around the world to buy their stuff, people around the world stuff. They're like, wait a minute, you don't have that much gold. You're giving out millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. There's not even that much gold in the world. He started getting fishy. So this is what he was saying. He made an announcement, which is probably even more important than the Richard Nixon announcement. Listen to this.
France realizes that we don't have the gold to back up the dollars. The currency supply, the amount of paper dollars in circulation, and exported them all over the world. And then in the 60s, Charles de Gaulle, president of France, realizes that we don't have the gold to back up the dollars.
Le fait que beaucoup d'États acceptent par principe des dollars au même titre que de l'or entraîne les Américains à s'endetter et à s'endetter gratuitement vis-à-vis de l'étranger, car ce qu'ils lui doivent, ils le lui payent avec des dollars qu'il ne tient qu'à eux d'émettre. Nous estimons nécessaire que les échanges internationaux soient établis comme c'était le cas avant les grands malheurs du monde, sur une base monétaire indiscutable et qui ne porte la marque d'aucun pays en particulier. Quelle base? En vérité, on ne voit pas qu'il puisse y avoir réellement de critères, d'étalons autres que l'or.
And
he sent a battleship over to New York City and demanded the gold. He said, we don't want no more of these dollars. Give us our gold back. And Richard Nixon and company and his cabinet got afraid and goes, holy crap, we got to do something about this. Because if other countries started catching on and they started bringing those quote unquote receipts in, those fiat dollars in, we didn't have enough gold in the vaults.
Starts asking, France asks for their gold and trades in the dollars. And at that point, other countries saw this and start jumping on board. And the U.S. lost 50% of its gold from 1959 to 1971, but we still had in 71 about 12 times more dollars that we had created than there was gold. And this run on the bank, basically, the U.S. now being the bank, this is a giant worldwide bank run, because the U.S. for the second time had committed a fraud and created more receipts for gold than there was gold. It's that simple. And then finally the markets sort of sensed this, and Nixon was forced to take us off the gold standard, because if he had paid out gold until it got to zero, once we couldn't pay on some of those dollars, the entire worldwide monetary system would have collapsed.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States. In full cooperation with the International Monetary Fund, and those who trade with us, we will press for the necessary reforms to set up an urgently needed new international monetary system.
And on August 15th, 1971, all the world's currencies became fiat currency. I don't know why the rest of the world didn't rush out and hang him, but they didn't. They just all went along with this.
To our friends abroad, I give this assurance. The United States has always been and will continue to be a forward-looking and trustworthy trading partner.
There have been thousands upon thousands upon thousands of fiat currencies throughout history, and there isn't one that survived. It is a 100% failure rate. And we started this experiment where all the world's currencies would be fiat currencies simultaneously in 1971. But what we have here, 30 to 40 years, different monetary system, 30 years, 28 years, 39 years plus, what's next? The world is going to have a new monetary system in this decade that we're in. We're going to experience this huge deflationary crash around the world. The world will probably end up on some sort of new monetary system, probably after governments try and print their way out of this and cause hyperinflations of all the currencies, and people will just lose confidence in currency. And what do they always go back to throughout history? Time after time, for the last 5,000 years actually, they always go back to gold and silver.
In a world of floating currencies, and that's what all national...
I want to say a couple things with that. Yeah, old Tricky Dicky. First of all, he gets a bad rap, Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon was an excellent president. I thought I was watching a pizza man spinning the wheel of misfortune, not a PBS documentary. So the troll just here for the wheel spins for a wheel he's not even on? Good question. Old Tricky, yeah. So he gets a bad name. He was just in a situation where the wheels started coming off. This was going to happen ever since 1944 when we started printing money. He just was the president at the end of it. He had no choice. He had to do it. You know what I mean? Richard Nixon was a good man and a good president. Read his book, watch his documentary. He was stuck. That's why they got him out. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why they got him out. You know what I mean? Because he's one of the good ones. And just like Trump right now, he's on the end of the Fiat train right now. Could be him or J.D. Vance. And they got to do something different. Now, he said in the video, we always go back to gold and silver, which was true, but not anymore. As you can see, we're not really buying a lot of gold in America. We don't know how much we have in Fort Knox. But what did we do recently in the last month and a half? We stopped selling Bitcoin. This is the new monetary system he was just talking about. And we're here first, guys. You know what I mean? We're here first. All right, so let's do some spins real quick because I know I'm behind on there. Thank you guys for watching that. So let's see where we're at. So we're at Bitcoin block 572. Okay, so 570, 571. Any questions on that so far? 572. I mean, that was the most eye-opening, one of the most eye-opening documentaries I ever watched. And by the way, by a raise of hands, were you taught that in school when you went to school? Elementary, middle school, or high school, or college? Because I wasn't. And why do you think that is? Yes, I can, Kev. Got you. Why do you think we're not being taught this in school? They don't want us to know this stuff. How was he good if he knowingly lied, though? He said the U.S. will always be trustworthy and had to know the firsthand that wasn't true. Because I truly believe, Monique, and that's a really good question. Everybody lies, of course, and I think it was kind of a white lie he was telling, but he has to. He came on. Let me give you some context. He came on a Sunday, August 15th, 1971. He came on Sunday when a show called Bonanza was on, right? And he just dropped it in there. And I think he meant to take us off short term and try to get some more gold. But at the end of the day, he couldn't do it. You know what I mean? And there's nothing he can do about it. Because if he would have told the whole country and everybody in the world that, hey, we don't have enough gold and we printed a lot of money, that's just something he couldn't do. He would have collapsed the whole economy. Yeah. Nope. Good question, Monique. Nope. Doing God's work, Jerry. This stuff is so important for people to understand. Turn on the green light. Absolutely, Jor. Nope. Yep. Me neither. School teaches us to be a worker bee. Absolutely. Monique, I get that. He tried his best, but it seems like he's still a liar. But I guess all politicians are. Yeah. I'm a liar. I lie. I lie. I'm not a liar, but I lie. People lie. We got to lie sometimes. My dad taught me about real money when I was a kid. Good, man. Good. Quantum. Learned it from Encyclopedia Britannica. Yeah, they're not going to teach us this in school. If you knew this, you wouldn't be a good sheep. Right. You're lucky, Paul. My dad worked at a bank for 40 years and didn't know how money worked. Yeah. And, and I went to school for finance and I didn't know this stuff. It's really embarrassing, man. It really is. He taught me about saving and investing, but never about money. Yep. Same here, man. Same here. Nothing to be ashamed of, guys. It was done on purpose. All right, let's do these 3 spins real quick. Thank you guys so much for being here. Luminous, congratulations. It is a shame, Mimi. It is. It really is. Luminous, are you still here? Women lie, men lie, numbers don't. Numbers don't. That's right, Mimi. Megan. Once you understand Bitcoin, you literally never look at anything the same. Yeah, that right there, Zach, is Jor's quote. The green light situation. Once you understand Bitcoin, you literally never look at it the same. Once that green light comes on, it's all you know the lie. You can never look back. So when you're quote unquote saving money, you're not going to save in the stock market anymore or save in a regular savings account. You're just not, because you know it's all a lie and fake. Buck 52, I learned how to make French toast. I like French toast. Our food system, our healthcare system, everything is impacted over printing dollars. Yes, absolutely. He got you there, the troll. He got you on that one. Congrats, Luminous. I don't think Luminous is here. This isn't the only thing. Look at what you were taught in history school. Look, and then look at what your kids are taught. It is changed and removed. Yes, that's why I'm all for homeschooling, man. That's true, Megan. It's just a shame to know you can't trust many people, but that's life. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's do it. Let's do a spin. I don't think Luminous is here. Let's do it again. Again, guys, if you leave, let me know, please, and thank you. Please and thank you. And again, thank you for being here. Good luck. I runs New York. I haven't heard from runs New York in a while. You here, sir? Let me know. Let me spin for 571 while we're doing that. You guys got any questions about that? What we just talked about? Jor for the score. Very true, Scorpion. They make us feel so educated when we're really the opposite. Congrats. Yes. Do you watch Data Dash? If so, what you think of his channel? He talk about Bitcoin. I'll talk about that in a second. Jor, if you leave, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Yes, exactly. Congratulations, Jor. Yeah, I've seen him before. Data Dash. Data Dash is a. You guys ever seen him? He's a. He's kind of a propagandist. Kind of. He's a crypto trader, and he's kind of. I call him Data Trash. His name is Nicholas Martin. I call him something else less Martin. He's just talking about the price going up or down. He's just a trader. And if you trade Bitcoin, you're an idiot, my standpoint. He's smart when it comes to numbers and trading and crypto, but he's an idiot with Bitcoin. Because if you trade Bitcoin, to me, and if you know about Bitcoin, you're an absolute idiot. Does that answer your question, to troll? All right, Jor for the score. I runs New York. Looks like he's not here. So we got to do another spin for him. Let me get him off the wheel. Don't let the door hit you out, like Jor said. Let's do it again for 570. 88 Sats and Jera are the only channels I follow. Oh, wow. Thanks, man. Wow, thanks. Paul. Well, if that's the case, Buck 52, you're going to be very happy with the announcement that we may come out with later. So he do have a male productive organ because he disagree with you? So he do have? I don't know what you're talking about. 2,000 Buck 250. I'm offended. LMAO. Yes. Congrats. You have a nickname for everything. Yeah, I do. My man. Yes. Paul. Give it to Monique. Okay. Got you. Thank you, man. Monique. Monique. Another 100. He don't. Okay, so he don't have a male productive organ because he disagrees with you. I mean, hey, you ever seen a eunuch before? If you don't understand Bitcoin, then you understand Bitcoin, you ain't buying it. Hey, All right, so 572. Thank you, Paul, for doing that for Monique. Appreciate it. Any other questions to troll? Jor? Boom. Back to back. Back to back, Jor. Yeah, we are watching one now. Okay. Let's just say there's somebody that knows that that's not true, the troll, and you know her pretty well. All right, so let's see. 572. Okay, we're all caught up. Okay, so let's continue with the video. Jor is already a whale. He has 10 BTC. Jor begs to differ. Jor is a very, very rich man with knowledge. He really is. He's rich with goodness. He's a good man. Absolutely a good man. Congrats, Jor. Okay, so let's continue, guys.
Are today. They bob up and down relative to each other, but they're
time for the last 5,000 years, actually. They always go back to gold and silver.
in a world of floating currencies, and that's what all national currencies are today. They bob up and down relative to each other, but they're all sinking relative to gold. That includes the dollar as well as the euro and the British pound and all the others. They're going to continue to lose value, continue to lose purchasing power.
Personally, I don't think there's any way of avoiding what is coming. There's no way to fix it right now. There's only a way to either let it wipe you out or to benefit from it. And I want to make sure that it's not just a few of the big investors in the world that are ending up with all the cookies. I want to make sure that there's as many small investors as possible that are benefiting from it, because that's what makes society run. Middle class, small investor.
Boom. That's my life mission right there. Let me play that again.
Ending up with all the cookies. I want to make sure that a few of the big
continue to lose purchasing power.
Personally, I don't think there's any way of avoiding what is coming. There's no way to fix it right now. There's only a way to either let it wipe you out or to benefit from it. And I want to make sure that it's not just a few of the big investors in the world that are ending up with all the cookies. I want to make sure that there's as many small investors as possible that are benefiting from it, because that's what makes society run. Middle class, small investor.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is my life mission right there. To make sure that people like us, middle class, run-of-the-mill, folks that make this world go round, get as many Satoshis as we can. And I need you guys to understand that, right? Because again, strategy, they're straight. The governments are straight. The multi-millionaire billionaires, these companies, they're going to be trying to snatch them up. But you have the first movers advantage. Right now you can get over 1,300 Satoshis for $1. That's incredible. You know what I mean? Uh-oh, hold on. Emily's here. Emily, how you doing? Good to see you, ma'am. Let me put you in the thing. I see you, Neo. Hold on. I got to recognize Emily. Emily, listen. I know you were at work probably, but you got to go back to the beginning of this video. Not right now. You got to watch this from the beginning. Okay? This is a really good video. My guy, Mike Maloney, is an OG, but he's investing in what coins like Haber now, but because Bitcoin and silver have sucked. Well, he's in a position where he's very, very wealthy, so he can do that. But he believes in sound money. There's nothing wrong with putting 3 to 5% into gambling, because that's what it is. And again, he's got a complex out there in, where is he, Puerto Rico or whatever, or Mexico or something. So he's straight. I got no problem with that. Hello. So let's continue. So yeah, that's my life mission, to get people like us to get as many Satoshis as humanly possible, guys.
One of the biggest challenges for human beings is that physiologically we are designed to operate in recency. The fight or flight response is literally in my cells, literally. And so that when I'm in the wild, it's about, I need to look for something to eat or make sure I don't get eaten. And how that translates into the modern world is that we think only about what's happening immediately in front of us. And so we think a long time is last week. In the world of YouTube and Facebook and instant messaging, we think 3 seconds is a long time. Like, did you get the post already? I already posted it. And the reality is that if you look at history, and I don't mean a week, I don't mean a month, I mean decades, I mean 100 years, I mean a couple of 100 years, I mean more than a couple 100 years, you can start to see some patterns. You can see some things that are going on because history repeats itself. There are some trends and there are some movements that you can learn from. And you literally have to go outside of your human instincts to look at history.
Imagine a day when Bitcoiners hold the power and influence. Imagine how much different this world will look. Yes, that's a great point, Jor. Let me double down on that. Let's double click on that. Just look at the small example of people we have in this small community. What do we do here? All we're doing is what? Helping each other, loving each other, giving each other sats, giving each other encouragement. Every time somebody wins, there's 10 people saying, "Great job, thank you." That's what we are as human beings, right? Not these evil banksters, not these people, the contillionaires, not these freaking politicians, these bureaucrats. I'm feeling the love. Nice to see you all. Yes, exactly. And Jordan makes a good point. Imagine if we hold the cards, right? Again, the people that have the most Bitcoin in the world will have the most power, period. That's just the way it's that's just the way it's gonna go. You know? Neo, the world will look automated. The need for politicians will soon be over. Bitcoin takes over. Yep. Bingo. Exactly. Thank you, Jor. I look forward to that, Neo. Yes, me too. Let's keep it going.
Because we just want to focus on right now. Because as I said, that's about either eating or being eaten. So we're going to go beyond that. And that means not just focusing on the here and now, but learning some real powerful stuff from what's happened. Because there just might be some indicators there as what's going to happen in the future.
Now, the 7 stages of empire, just as a reminder, started with sound money. And then a country adds layers of public works and social programs, and then develops a massive military, and then puts that military to use. And to pay for the war, it debases its currency supply, which causes a loss of faith in the currency, which then leads to a currency crisis, and gold does an accounting of the expansion of that fiat currency supply that happened over all those years of the first 5 stages. We are in the 6th and beginning the 7th stage. Gold started the accounting in the year 2001. It was $250 then, but we're still in the very early stages of this.
Well, that's right. I think one of the problems with gold is people just don't understand it. I mean, for one thing, it's sort of been banished from the curriculum for 35 years. We have going on 2 generations of academics and scholars who have never studied gold. Unless you're a specialist in economic history, you can go back and look at it. Now, when I was in university and even when I was in graduate school in economics, we were still on the gold standard in some form. It was fairly attenuated, but when you studied the IMF and you looked at how they present the finances of a country and the breakdown of the reserves and the capital accounts, gold was a line item in the capital account. And you had to understand how it, what role it played, and how it could equilibrate in terms of balance of trade. Well, that's gone. The IMF, Nixon went off the gold standard in 1971, and bright young economic students just don't understand gold. They think it's a joke, or they think it's maybe a commodity trade or a momentum trade. They don't understand that it really is money par excellence.
So now we've learned that money was born in roughly 630 BC when it became fungible. It was free markets and sound money that led to Athens' great prosperity. But debasement of their money for deficit spending on war and public works played a large role in their demise. Over the past 140 years, we've debased our own currencies to the point where 2 generations of scholars don't even understand gold. We learned about Gresham's law and that bad money drives out good. In recent history, there has been a new monetary system roughly every 40 years. And we've learned that we are in the 6th stage of the 7 stages of empire. So that's it for this episode. Join us next time when we learn more about the chaotic state of the US dollar standard and how it's going to affect you no matter where you live on the planet. When I wrote my book, I said that we're coming into an era that is going to be the greatest wealth transfer in the history of mankind. Therefore, it's the greatest opportunity in the history of mankind. I've made it my mission to help as many people as possible get through this crisis and to come out on the best side of the wealth transfer. So my challenge to you for this episode is to try and find a single example in all of monetary history of a crisis that was brought on by too much deficit spending, too much debt, and too much currency debasement, being solved by more deficit spending, more debt, and more currency debasement.
There you have it, guys. Wow. Incredible, man. This video series changed my life. It really did, man. Zach, this Austrian economics, which not only for they not teach in high school, but also nearly no university. It's all this MMT, modern monetary theory. Yes, crap, absolutely. No one even knew what happened in 1971. I made a clip about that today. Maybe we can watch it real quick. So we've been in stage 6 for so long. How is that even possible? Good question. We're getting close to number 7, that's for sure. Jerry, do you believe history will frame Trump as the bad guy in years to come after this economic order is reset? Depends on who tells the story, to be honest. Good question. 99% of Americans cannot tell you the price of Bitcoin or gold. Yeah, they sure can't. The pendulum is swinging back and no one will understand it now either. Yeah. That's why it's up to us to make sure these people do understand it. Let's see if we can watch this clip from Jor, if that's okay, Jor. Let's see how many people can own 1 Bitcoin. Let me go to this channel. Let's see, Jor. Which one? The sneaky shift to a Bitcoin standard. Is it this one right here, Jor? The sneaky shift to a Bitcoin standard? Oh, I'm not even showing it. Sorry, guys. Is it this one right here, Jor? The sneaky shift to a Bitcoin standard? Depends on who tells the story. Damn, that hits. It's true. Trump will remember as the greatest leader in human history. In my book, he will. Okay, I see you, Jor. Let me catch up with these. The Fed don't print. They borrow money from Mr. Maloney. Yes. I like those videos where the guy is in the street offers people a gold coin or a candy bar. They choose the chocolate. Yep. Same thing with Bitcoin. We have the Bitcoin network now to ensure history doesn't change. Yes. That ledger. Yep. Hack job, Trump, Nixon. Yep. All right, let's watch it real quick. Jor's always got something good to say.
The sneaky shift to a Bitcoin standard. This is the post that we had on Maple Bitcoin yesterday. It says countries that adapt first will win. Countries that adapt last will fall. Companies that adapt first will win. Companies that adapt last will fail. Individuals that adapt first will win. Individuals that adapt last will also win. That's my theory. That's on Maple Bitcoin Noster. We posted on X as well, and it did really well on X. And there were some people who were asking for an explanation on the individual aspect of that. So it ties into game theory in terms of the countries and the companies, but I want to focus on the individuals here. So the last part there said individuals that adapt first will win, and individuals that adapt last will also win. And I should have probably added a caveat there saying they just won't win as much. They won't have as much in the short term anyways. But kind of my whole theory on this, and the reason why this post came to be, is that I really believe that we're going through we're shifting to a Bitcoin standard right now, and most people have no idea. And kind of my theory on this is that back in 1971, we basically went through the same kind of thing, where Nixon took the US off the gold standard. And if you put yourself back into that spot in 1971, you can imagine how many people actually not only watched that press conference with Nixon, but how many people actually understood what was happening there. So I think if you look back to 1971, if you actually went to a website called WTF Happened in 1971, you would see how much of a free fall the world went into after the US went off the gold standard, after they had the ability to create money without any sort of energy backing that money.
He's absolutely right. Make sure you guys pull up that. I'll pull it up and I'll put it in the chat. WTF happened in 1971. When you look at that website, it changes your life because everything went downhill from that point. It's crazy.
So up until that point, currency, the dollar, was not 100% backed by gold, but there was still the impression, the trust there, because that dollar, you could exchange for gold at the bank. 1971, they stopped that because everybody was coming to the US and saying, hey, we don't think you have as much gold as you say that you do, so we want ours back. And when that happened, that's when the US panicked. They went off the gold standard. Most people didn't see it. Even fewer people understood the implications of that. And that's what we're living through today, 50 years later. And so gradually and slowly from 1971 up until 2025, the world has gone to shit. Every aspect of society has decreased. Our quality of life down, crime up, hospital visits up, food quality down, birth rate down. Everything that you look at, every chart, look at that website, WTFhappened in1971.com. Everything went to shit from 1971. And at the time, probably
I put it in the chat right there. I put it in the chat. Clean Your Machine says you and Jerry should team up. Well, I think that's a good idea. We'll see.
no idea. Nobody had any sort of idea what was happening there. So my theory now is that we're living through the exact opposite of that. The pendulum is swinging backwards. And we've seen signs of this in the last year. We saw Trump talk at the Bitcoin conference. You could kind of compare that to Nixon's speech. Trump's team, they've done numerous. They had the digital asset summit or whatever it was. We've seen numerous press conferences, numerous announcements around Bitcoin that would point to this, that we might not even realize until 50 years from now, when we look back and say, that was the Nixon moment, but for Bitcoin. And again, going back to this last part here that said individuals that adapt first will win. The early adopters will win the biggest, but individuals that adapt Bitcoin last will also win. Because just like in 1971, where everything gradually got worse for everybody without them not even knowing it, things are going to gradually get better here for everybody without them knowing it. So as we move onto a Bitcoin standard, we're kind of in the process of that right now. Whether people want to believe that or not, that's what's happening. And so my theory is that life is just going to continue to get better and better and better, and nobody's even going to know what happened there. Nobody's going to understand Bitcoin. I'd say that 90% of people will never understand Bitcoin, but they're not going to have to, because it allows for transparency, honesty, fairness. And when these companies and countries start showing proof of reserves and we actually have something backing our currency, everything changes. Because every single issue we have in our society right now comes from the fact that a small group of people can print money. And when you take that away from them, everything gets better. That's why I said individuals that adapt last will also win, because it's just going to improve everything. The catchphrase in Bitcoin is that Bitcoin fixes everything. And that's not necessarily the case. It fixes a lot of things, but the main thing is that you have a solid foundation, like the Bitcoin layer 1, that you can build on top of and bring back truth, transparency, honesty, and sovereignty to the world. So that's kind of my theory here. And most people, again, don't realize that this is happening, but the people who have realized that and who are taking action are going to be the ones who benefit the most from this, whether that's countries, companies, individuals. Every entity who adopts Bitcoin first will win. Whatever they're trying to do, they will win. And the ones who fail to do that are going to lose significantly. And it'll take some time to play out, but that's what's happening right now, in my opinion.
Wise words from a wise man. Wise words from a wise man, and I don't find anything I disagree with what he said there. That's a good point. Finance won't have to be such an historic topic. Everyone can be on the same page at 88 sats. Yeah. Again, I try to find things I disagree with this guy, but I can't do it. It's hard because I like to argue. But this is why I respect him and listen to him every day. And by the way, if you're not subscribed to Jor from 88 Sats Radio, you're missing out. He does a live every single morning, and then he breaks it up. He's got a lot of stuff going on, man. Good job on that. The one thing about politics, even Trump is a messiah. They can reverse everything with the wrong administration in place. Yeah. And guys, do me a favor, go to his channel and watch that again. Because I'm paying attention on the side. I gotta go watch that again. That was very profound right there, what he just said. You know, and I agree with that. Well said, Jor, as always. All right, so we're at block 572. Oh, we're all caught up. Okay. And we're at 10 minutes to 6. So we're good. And whatever that word Monique says, I can't really pronounce it. What did you say? Hysteric topic? I don't know what that means. Anyways, so much love, Jor. So yeah, do you guys have any questions? We're coming right up at 2 hours. Jor for the score, absolutely. 2 wings, same bird. Yep. So I got everybody written down here. Some people are giving out sets. I'll go through it. Send me an email if there's any discrepancies. And yeah, we'll do our thing. But thank you guys so much for coming in. I really, really, really appreciate it. I love you guys. I'm gonna do my best to keep these at 2 hours because I value you guys' time and everything else. And I just get passionate about this and I get a little carried away sometimes. But right here, I always end it with this right here, just as a reminder of why we're doing this in this broken system we're in. We're at $36.7 trillion in debt. $1 trillion is a lot of money. It is. And you owe 107,000 of that for doing absolutely nothing. And inflation is getting out of control. No problem. Thank you, Letha. Thanks, Jerry. I love what you're doing here, brother. Keep it up. Salute to you, man. Thank you. Thanks, Jerry. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Jerry. Great show. Thank you, Monique. Thank you, Lamb. Thank you. And it's just a shame, man. And I love what Elon Musk is doing and Doge and everything else. But at the end of the day, inflation is a problem. And now we're learning with that second video we just watched from Mike Maloney where inflation comes from. These people literally took a whole thing of gold, melted it down, and put copper in it. You can't trust human beings with money. And with this money that I'm talking about, where you need to get as many of these little units as you can, you don't have to trust anybody, right? It's a protocol. It's a system already in place. And I think the men or the people that made it every single day, because again, I wake up every single morning very, very motivated and happy that we have it here in place and to make sure that we pay off this debt and stop the inflation. And I'm telling you guys right now, the world is going to look completely different here in 10 years. But, if you have children, grandchildren, or you plan on having children in the future, that debt right there is going to be piling up on people. Okay. And there's only one way to stop inflation. Thanks, Jerry, and everyone. Great get together. Yes. There's only one way to stop this inflation, which is is crazy. You trade your time and energy in. Yes, you do. Yes. That's all good. You trade your time and energy in your life for that debt, for that personal debt that you have, then you didn't do nothing wrong. And again, there's only one way to fix this broken system. That system down there with the Doge clock trying to fix it is within that system, which is not going to fix it. There's only one way to stop this inflation and stop the massive debt that just keeps on going while we're talking. And if you've been around for a while, I'm pretty sure you guys already know what that is. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.